Okay, ladies and gents, welcome. We're here on CM42 TV. It's always nice to go back to the roots of the channel, talking about the wrestling business, talking about a little bit of the wrestling, a wee bit of the wrestling to chat about. It's been a very eventful week, to say the least. I don't really want to make this like a sort of let's cover the week and review sort of thing. Anytime we have a big moment, or if there's like a pay-per-view that's, you know, worth talking about or something, I'd love to kind of document it here. I want to keep up, you know, the wrestling talk and the wrestling coverage, if you will, and it's just to kind of heat, because it's important to me. It's the thing I think about more than anything, probably. It's nice to share it here on CM42 TV. And hey, I don't know, people out there could be wrestling fans. I know that there are a few wrestling fans that are still subscribed here. Of course there is, whether you want to admit it or not. There are wrestling fans everywhere. They're all around us. We are all together. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend, actually. It's Royal Rumble weekend. It's always one of those ones that always gets people talking for a good reason, because obviously it's the start of the road to WrestleMania. Last night's Raw was a big deal because it was like the first sort of one of WrestleMania season, but not the usual, you know, sort of weekend that we've come to expect from WWE this time of year. We didn't have a takeover. We didn't have a Royal Rumble that we were kind of raging at the finish. We didn't have people moaning that much about some stuff, and then we didn't have a sort of lopsided, daft episode of Raw. Everything that happened over the past week has been really good and positive and happy, you know. We had Worlds Collide, which was a lot of fun. You know, it wasn't quite takeover level. You know, you didn't get your 5-star classics or your match of the year candidate or anything like that. But you got this really cool show that kind of showcased a lot of the NXT UK guys and girls, and also some of the cruiserweight talent that you don't really see so often, you know, on that kind of bigger stage, which was great. You had Mustache Mountain versus DIY. And an amazing match, and he had that massive brawl at the end with Imperium and the Undisputed Era. Two great matches, not to mention seeing Toni Storm, who anytime that she's on the screen and she's in the show and she's on a match is an absolute win for me and everybody. She is my favourite. So it was nice for that, and then of course Jordan Devlin, a UK, you know, talent in NXT UK, winning the Cruiserweight title was big. And what was the first match again? Oh yeah, it was Finn Balor. Seen Finn Balor, the biggest star there. Finn Balor versus Ilya Dragunov, who I'm not taken to very well. I don't know what it is. It's the same with Matt Riddle. Like everybody else tells you he's brilliant. Like, wait till you see this guy, he's mental. He's like no one you've ever seen before. Then you see him and you're like, I don't know. I guess just can't connect. It will take, you know, a few big moments and stuff. But I kind of explained this to someone recently, my kind of philosophy of like becoming a fan of someone. And I think it's like, I don't know if it's just because I'm a performer in my own right and I kind of look at wrestling differently, but see if you are a wrestler that, you know, produces some form of performance that just moves me, that really, really impresses me, that kind of blows me away in any situation, whether it be a great promo or a really cool entrance or a really cool interview, you know, out of character, or even a match or whatever, a big moment in the ring, then it's like, you're in. You know what I mean? There's not many wrestlers I don't like, and I think it's because of that reason, because if I see an actor in a great film, I'm like, oh, that's that actor that's, you know, if I see him in something else, I'm like, oh, that's that actor that's really good in that other thing. I really like them. You know what I mean? It's like an approved thing. You know, they do something really well and you're like, ah, yes, I'm now a fan of this. So I guess it's the same with wrestling, you know? It's the same with, it's happened a bunch of times. Even Pete Dunne, like Pete Dunne's one of my favourite wrestlers. But when I first saw him at the UK thing in January of 2017, by the way, which is absolutely crazy, it was that long ago. I think it was 17, yeah, 17. When I first saw him then, I was like, why is everybody raving about Pete Dunne? I don't get it. And then like after that match in Chicago with Tyler Bate, and it was like the 5-star classic representing our brand, the match of the year, I was like, Pete Dunne's great, and now I'm like on the Pete Dunne bandwagon, and now I would say he's in like my top 5 favourite wrestlers. I guess it's that kind of thing. I used to hate Baron Corbin, you know, I used to hate him. But like in NXT and that sort of thing, when he was like beating people in 3 seconds and stuff, I used to hate him. I used to think he was boring, used to hate his look, hate his old theme song, hate the booking, hate the promos. But then like once he had a bunch of good matches and then was, you know, really good heel and wrestled AJ a bunch and wrestled Ty Dillinger, for, you know, on SmackDown Live, I think that rings a bell. And then even the stuff recently with Kurt Angle and Chad Gable, Shorty G, all that stuff, and even Roman, like it's all good stuff. He's a really good heel, and now it's like, okay, Baron Corbin knows what he's doing, you know. So anyway, don't know how we go into that, but I was talking Worlds Collide, how I'm not sold on Dragunov yet, but I'm sure we'll get there. It was a good match. It was a good show overall. Then we get to the Royal Rumble, and the Royal Rumble is always so divisive, whether it just be the flow of the show, whether it just be the booking, the winners of the actual Rumble matches, the surprises. We didn't have like a very eventful event, you know what I mean? Like the actual pay-per-view itself, like the Women's Rumble match was really fun, I thought. You know, you get Charlotte Flair winning that, which you could say is predictable, but I think, you know, if you didn't win it, literally any of them could have won it. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, well, it was obviously going to be Charlotte Flair 6 months ago. She's always going to be that person that's always there, that's always great, that always has that sort of main event status around her. She's going to do everything in her career. She is going to win everything. She's going to do everything. She's already done most of it. You know, why not just, you know, tick another one off the list while we're at it? You know, there was no clear, obvious winner who it should be. Like last year it should have been Becky, and the year before it should have been Asuka, and it was. This year we didn't have that, you know, not even for the men's one. You know, I'm over the moon that Drew won, you know, because Drew's one of my favourite wrestlers. He's the hometown guy and stuff. Always followed him, literally followed him like his whole career since 2007 when he was like 19. Seeing him win the Royal Rumble and now, you know, that thing with Brock and stuff is great. But it's not as if before the Rumble you were like, Drew has to win. Like a lot of people wanted him to win, and I think it's probably the right choice. But it's not as if it was like desperate, you know. Which is good because there's a wee bit of unpredictability and it gives you that sort of shock factor when they do win. So, yeah, I guess that was a wee segue talking about the Rumble match. I genuinely think the 2020 Men's Rumble was one of the best Rumbles I've ever seen. Definitely the best of this generation in terms of booking, action in the ring, surprises and the right winner. It just all came together. I just thought it was great. I think the 2018 Rumble is awesome, both male and female. I think they're both incredible. They're both done really, really well. And again, both the right winners. But this one just edges it a wee bit. No pun intended. Genuinely didn't mean that. But yes, this edges it a wee bit. In terms of I can't believe I just said that. In terms of it being a little bit better than the 18 one. I think the 19 one was good, but again, it just fell a bit flat. I thought maybe it was because of the stadium, which is why I was a bit hesitant going into this one. But it was like this one blew that one out of the water. The stadium does affect it because the noise is different because it goes up the way, and it's the baseball stadiums are weird because they're kind of square and rectangular rather than like the American football stadiums that kind of go up in like an oval. There was something about like the baseball stadium, I don't know, it's just you don't really see wrestling there, so like the noise is a bit different. Like remember last year it was like the entranceway had like a sort of curve in it like WrestleMania 19. This year I didn't have that, but yeah, it's just in terms of putting together a Rumble match. Like, that's how you do it, because not only is it, like, there's all these surprises and there's good moves and stuff, it was, like, clever. You know what I mean? It was, like, chapters, and it was, like, stages. You start off with Lesnar, who was amazing. Brock played his part so well here. Being the kind of, you know, unstoppable beast, no one can eliminate him. Literally no one. Not even Braun Strowman, not even John Morrison that he's just came back, not even his old training partner Shelton Benjamin, not even the Intercontinental Champion, not even Keith Lee. No one can eliminate him apart from Drew, the winner. And it's just made so much sense. And the reason, I couldn't believe it went on so long as well, because Drew came out number 16. I was expecting that to happen, but maybe to like 7 or 8, not to 16. It just went on and on and on. And I was thinking at the time, oh, this is going to be badly received. But as soon as Drew put him out there on that reaction, that is what it was for. That is what wrestling is. That's what makes wrestling the best. Things like that, the build-up and the payoff and the relief and the... just so good. And not to mention it got people like Keith Lee over big time. Strowman looked really good as always. People like the spot with Kofi, Ray and Big E. Like 3 guys that have genuine issues and past issues with Brock all teaming up and stuff, and the crowd went mental, and it was like sort of cool wee spot. And it wasn't just like Brock just doesn't want to do it and then just chucks them out. Like Brock actually fought back at the 3 of them, and he like jumped over Big E's back and clotheslined Kofi, and like it was all done really well. And then Drew came out and it was brilliant. So you had the Brock section, and then after Brock went out, then Edge came out not long after that, and it was like Edge's return scene, you know. And then after that had died down, then you had like the final 6 or 7 with like Rollins coming out with his new group, and you had Joe and Kev teaming up and being like, you know, they're the new babyface team together, but they're kind of putting their differences aside to get rid of Rollins. And then you had folk like Drew and Reigns and Orton still in there, then Edge is still in there and stuff. It came into this big crescendo at the end with these final things, and you had like seeds being planted with this big brawl with Aleister Black was there too. You get the baby faces on Raw against the new heel team on Raw. You get that wee story going away. Then you had Orton and Edge doing their wee bit that's leading to the future, but it doesn't just book the following match between them. It calls back to their old team. Like, all made sense. And then you had Drew and Roman two of my favourite wrestlers, the two rightful winners, the two rightful final two, and then Drew just edged it and threw him over the top rope with the Claymore and stuff. It's just, and then the pop at the end and just seeing the emotion in his face and stuff like that, it just made it so perfect. And it's like, that's how a Rumble should be. Not to mention the surprises like MVP. You get Matt Riddle in there, which was a bit of a waste, but again, Corbin, I mean, that's why Corbin's Corbin, you know, to ruin those moments, and I thought that was okay. I was a bit shocked with the choice of people they had Brock just throw out like that. And I was thinking about it at the time, I was like, why John Morrison? Why Kofi? Well, I know why Kofi because of the thing. Why John Morrison? Why Cesaro? Why Shinsuke? Why Strowman? Why Keith Lee? Like, why these people who could really do something, I suppose, and have a threat and what you actually want to see Brock wrestle. But I guess like, then you think about who else it could have been. Maybe Corbin. Maybe could have replaced it. Ziggler, maybe. But other than that, everybody else kind of had to kind of fit into the set story in the match. Like you had the OC there with AJ, who got hurt, by the way, which isn't good. He dislocated his shoulder, or separated his shoulder, which isn't good. So it couldn't have been them because they had to be there for AJ, and I guess it couldn't have been Corbin because he had to eliminate Riddle, and it couldn't be, you know, it all kind of added up. You needed Edge there with people who could, you know, go with them and stuff, and everybody making sense in their own sort of wee area and staying in a line, staying in a lane, that sort of thing. All made perfect sense that way too. I don't know, it was just great. And then Edge coming out, man, I love the fact that it was rumoured and it was leaked and all these things were going about. But of course, when these things happen, rumours happen in wrestling all the time. You never know what to believe and what not to believe. It was also rumoured that CM Punk was coming back. It was also rumoured that Sting was coming out. But these things, they're just rumours for a reason, to get people talking, to get people excited. But what WWE are really bad at is that when something gets leaked, they feel the need to change it because it's been leaked. When I don't think that needs to happen. Okay, maybe it's not going to be such a big surprise than it maybe should have been or could have been. But it's still, if it's still the right decision, if it's still a really cool idea, they should just go with it anyway. Which is, I feel kind of bad for Roman Reigns because it's always like Roman Reigns is always liked to be the one that's going to win the match, and then because everybody knows that Reigns is going to win, he's always in the final four or final two and always gets chucked out. You know, Shinsuke and Orton, and then like this year it was Drew. Like, it's a shame because poor Roman, and props to him as well for always going with it and putting people over and stuff. I don't want to hear anything about Roman not putting over new talent and burying folk and always getting the push. Nonsense. Doesn't happen. Roman Reigns is one of the best. And then you get Drew, that moment Drew winning, and even the moments with like Shinsuke and Orton over the past few years that have eliminated him in the last two or last three, it makes it even bigger because no one expected it to happen, you know? Which is probably the good thing about changing the booking and changing the surprises. However, what I liked about this Rumble is the fact they kept it, you know, even though people knew it was Edge, you know, or people kind of were talking, they didn't really know, but they were talking the fact the Edge might come out. They still done it because it was amazing, it made sense, it's going to lead to loads of things, it created this amazing moment, even though the camera cut away. People are going mental at Kevin Dunn for cutting away, missing Edge's first spear in the match. He speared Ziggler and no one saw it. My only argument towards that is that it was probably a bit hectic in the truck too. They were probably a bit like, oh, what are we going to do? We need to show these crowd shots and stuff. They do it all the time. It's just a shame they missed it. And it was a bit daft. You think someone, Kevin Dunn, who's been about for all these years, wouldn't, you know, necessarily cut away from one of the biggest returns in years when two wrestlers are running towards each other. You wouldn't cut away. I saw a thing on Twitter earlier on. It was like, imagine that happened back in the late 90s where like Undertaker threw Mankind off the cell, or Jericho's debut or something, and the camera cut away and you didn't see it. Like, the outrage would be ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? That is, I don't know. It was fine. I mean, obviously now because there's so many cameras and stuff, there was like exclusive footage put on social media and YouTube and that sort of thing. So you kind of did see it. And I favourited the video that they posted of like the uncut version because seeing his full entrance with no cuts, I don't have an issue with crowd shots. They get quite annoying sometimes, but they obviously capture some good moments, like the guy after the streak ended or whatever. And there was even a good one, you know, when Edge came out, there was a guy like so happy, he was like so happy. Those moments are fine and they're cool and they kind of stick in your mind. But I liked the fact that there is a version on there that there's no cuts. You literally see him come out. And there's this, I don't know what it is, about this feeling of seeing him walking through the smoke, literally like re-emerging from retirement, you know what I mean? It was bonkers, just watching him come out through and then that look in his face. Have you ever seen so many emotions hit somebody right in the face at the one time like that before in your life. I haven't, I don't think. I've seen all these films and all these theatre pieces and worked in drama school. I've never seen someone come out and just be so overwhelmed with everything. It's like shock, it's like excitement, it's sadness, it's redemption, it's like relief. It's all this just coming out, and he's doing the whole Edge thing, and he's doing the pumped up eyes and stuff, and he's looking at the crowd, but then he does this wee sort of like, he stops and he looks at one side and he's like, oh my god, and he looks at the other side, and then he goes right back into Edge mode. It's crazy. It's like, look at this, how real it can be sometimes. Do you know what I mean? So it was beautiful, so good to see. And then seeing him look so good and have such a good spell in the Rumble, eliminating folk, and then I thought Randy Orton was great in the Rumble, doing all these sort of like sneaking behind folk, like he RKO'd Kevin Owens and RKO'd Rollins and things like that. Another cool thing as well, which I didn't notice, is that Edge, when he grabbed Rollins, it was like, remember back in like 2015 or 2014 when like Rollins nearly killed Edge? It was like harkening back to that, you know. That was a nice wee moment. Another cool thing, Edge's wife, Beth Phoenix, what an amazing showing in the Women's Rumble. Both Edge and Beth Phoenix were both surprise entrants in the 2010 Rumble and the 2020 Rumble, and they're a married couple. That's a interesting sort of, I don't know, what are the odds, do you know what I mean? So that's really cool. And I don't even think they were together in 2010, so it's just funny how it all works out. The surprises in the women's one was mental. There was loads of them. Loads of NXT stars, loads of people who hadn't even started yet. No Sasha Banks. I think she hurt her ankle or something. No Kaylee Ray, which, you know, did my nut in. No Rhea Ripley. Instead you got people who I'd never heard of before. You know, Shotzi Blackheart, who are you? Xia Li, person who keeps knocking folk out. Get out of here. Do you know what I mean? Put people in who people know and people like and who are not dangerous. Nice to see people like Chelsea Green in there though, and again Tony Storm, people who have really worked for it and that sort of thing. So yeah, great Rumble match, one of the best in years, if not of all time, in terms of the story and like how it's done. It's just perfect. And then Raw was really good. Seeing that angle on the end of Raw with Orton and Edge setting up the match, so good, because not only are you thinking, all right, cool, you know, it's like old partners and who are like experienced and now they're coming together now all these years later, but like there's a genuine fear that Edge was hurt, you know, and it was like a genuine interest now, you know. You could put together Edge and Orton and go, okay, fine. It was like when they put Jericho and Orton together like one time in like 2016 or something, and the match was really good, but it was like, why, you know. 2014 actually, I think it was like Night of Champions 2014. They had a really good match, but it was like for no reason, just because like they're two well-travelled veterans and now they're coming together in this new age and stuff, and it was good, but it was just there. Whereas now you've got this kind of like emotional investment, and you don't want Edge to retire again, and you want Edge to get redemption and stuff. Whether it'll be at WrestleMania, I don't know. Whether it might be at the next Saudi show, seems a bit soon, I don't know. But I'm going to predict it will be Mania. I'd like to see Edge wrestle, you know, someone like Reigns or Rollins at WrestleMania, but I guess Reigns is wrestling Bray Wyatt, which is fine and deservedly so, and Drew is going to wrestle Brock, and I hope both Reigns and Drew win the titles, because they're the right winners, and they would make more sense. I don't know. It's funny when you're in like the sort of WrestleMania season mode, because you start booking all these, like what, 6 to 8 days away or something. There's ages, you know, until WrestleMania, but you're still trying to put together the card and fantasy booking, that sort of thing, which is cool. Might end up doing that. Might do like a predicting the WrestleMania 36 card video or something. That might be quite fun. But yeah, good stuff. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Royal Rumble Weekend 2020. Let me know what you think they should do going forward, what Edge should do, who Edge should wrestle, how they should handle Drew. Drew coming out last night and being a babyface was weird. I've always looked at Drew as a babyface, but just hearing that reaction for him, I just hope it's not a Rollins situation. People just turned on him because, like, we want to boo someone now, you know. And to be fair, it's helped Rollins. Rollins is doing great stuff as the heel with AOP and Buddy Murphy, but hope Drew gets this run, and he deserves it. It's something different, you know, he's great. It should be good. So yeah, let me know. I'm on social media, Twitter and Instagram, at CM42TV. Give us a follow over there, and I'll follow you back. We'll have such a good time on there together. So until next time, folks, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.